Junkyard Junkie back here with another video. Today we're going to be working on this 2001 Nissan Maxima. Okay, so the complaint for this car is that whenever they're in a drive-through or anything like that, it starts to overheat. This is a common problem when your fans are starting to go out or have gone out, because when you're driving down the road, air is being pushed in through the front, so it cools down your radiator. But you never want to just jump in and just throw parts and stuff, so you want to check your fuses first and you want to check your relays. I'll pull a relay out in just a second and show you how to test one. And I've already come to the determination it is the fan itself, so I'm going to show you how to replace that today. Okay, so here's your radiator. Usually you can find it by the cap. On the back side here is your fans. So these are what we're going to be replacing today. This car has 3 relays for the radiator fans, so you want to check all 3 to make sure all 3 are good. Okay, so right here on these Nissans, you want to press down on this green tab right in the middle and then pull out. They have their self-locking feature. It can be nice sometimes, sometimes it's not so nice. Then we're just going to pull this little air duct out of the way. Okay, so now if you look at this, the only thing that's really obstructing our way, we're going to have to take and unplug the wiring harness right here. And there's also another one right here. And we need to take this because it's also obstructing our ability to pull it straight out. Okay, for the first wiring harness, all you want to do is there's a button right here on the back side. Press that down. Pull it out. Now you're going to do the exact same thing to this other one. This one's a little bit harder to see, but it's the exact same thing. It's real easy. Press down, pull out. And now we want to go ahead and remove this wiring harness. Okay, so we are connected here. So go ahead and pop that out. And we are connected over here. Stick our blade in there, pop it out. Now we can push the wires through. Just tuck them away. Okay, so on the top side, you should have 2 bolts holding it in. Got one right there. One right here. This one is missing. So these are 10mm bolts. Okay, so at this point it is loose. As you can see, I can raise it up, but so the radiator hose is in our way of pulling this out, so we're gonna have to take it off. A little bit of coolant will come out, so you want to make sure to have a drain pan underneath, because it is extremely harmful to dogs and people alike. It's got a very sweet taste, so they would like to, drink it if they can, and it's also bad for the environment. So let's put a drain pan under it now and take it off. Okay, so you just want to get a pair of pliers. Wiggle it down. Like that. Now this is coming off easy, but if it didn't, just take a pick, go all the way around it and break that seal. And that's why you have the drain pan underneath. Okay, so right here where your radiator goes to your overfill tank, you just want to pull this line out. There we go, so it ain't attached no more. Okay, so this part's extremely hard to see. If you go down here, right where my light is at, there is a hose that needs to come off. It's just like the overfill hose. You just pull it out of its little bracket. You'll see it. It's easier to see. It's just hard to film. Just pull that out and it'll be ready to pull. Okay, so now that you got that undone, pull it straight out. Okay, so this is it pulled out. As you can see, these little tabs right here, they go into the bottom. They have a little place for them to insert. But that hose was right here, so you just want to pull it out, let it go. And then I bought the whole assembly because it was cheaper. But sometimes it's cheaper just to buy the motor itself. And I'll show you how to take that apart real quick. But for my project, I'm just buying a whole new one. It was cheaper that way. But if you want, you can just replace this motor. So as you can see, there's 3 bolts sticking out right here that we'll have to get from the other side. So we'll flip it over. Okay, so with an 8mm, we're just going to take this fan off. Now you have access to these 3 8mm. Okay, now that you got all 3 out, to the side, the motor comes right out. And then, okay, so now that you got this out down here, you just want to get under here and pry this out, but since I'm leaving it the way it is, I'm not going to mess with it. I'm just going to put it back together and haul it off. Here's the line that you want to remove from your fans. It goes to your radiator. It's a transmission cooler line. So I figured I'd take a second to explain why it was overheating whenever she was stopped. So these fans, when they turn, they're up against your radiator and they suck air in. That way it cools down all your coolant and all that. So if these aren't spinning and the car isn't moving, that coolant's just going to keep getting hotter and hotter. Okay, so your fan relays, you have 3. You got fan relay 1, fan relay 2, and fan relay 3. If you look down in there, they're right there. Okay, so here's the relay after you pull it out. As you can see, there's a diagram on the front there. Sometimes they're on the sides of the relay. But if we look here, when 1 and 2 gets energized, 3 to 5 closes, or 5 to 3, and then 7 to 6 closes. So we want to listen for that click, and we want to energize these and make sure that there's continuity between those 2 and those 2. So put power and ground here, put power and ground there, and check continuity between these 2 and these 2. All you need is a piece of wire, just any kind of wire will do, and then on each end I put alligator clips. Same thing with these, I just put black on the end. Okay, as you can see, I have the ground going to the ground, and then the positive, I'll just touch on the positive and you should hear an audible click. Just like that. Most people will say that's good, and usually it is good if it clicks, but it's better to go ahead and finish checking the relay completely. Okay, so to check continuity between them, we're just going to go ahead and put this on the hot. Alright, now there should be, if we go to this setting, got your ohms right here. You can also use ohms, but this right here will actually give you an audible noise. Mine's getting weak, so you may not hear it, but it's at 1, or most multimeters will say OL for open loop. If yours says 1, you want it to go down to 0. Same with if it says OL. What you'll do is now they should be continuity here. And I can hear it beeping. We'll go to the other side. It's also beeping. And that looks good. That relay's good. So we don't gotta worry about that being our problem. So now we're going to check continuity down here to make sure everything's fine from the relay itself to the fans. So if you look in there, we're going to hook up to this middle pin right here, and then we'll take the wiring harness, and we'll plug in right here. Don't jam it in. As you can see, it goes down to 0. And it's making an audible noise. I don't know if you can hear that. It's really quiet. Okay, so to check the other one, it's the same process if you're looking at it straight on. We'll go up here to the top left. Plug one in there. And then down here you want the middle pin right there. So we'll go ahead and check that now. As you can see, it goes down to 0, and it is making an audible noise. I don't know if you can hear it once again, but it's there. So all of this is good, which leads me to believe that it's the fans. Okay, so you want to go ahead and check your other 2 fans. So you got one here. We'll check this one. So we'll check 2 and 3. And if you look to take them out, there's a little tab right on the front side. Just take a screwdriver, push that in, and then pull it out. And then to put it back in, all you do is line it up correctly, put it in there, push down. You hear that click. Okay, so one more test you can do just to verify is you can actually hook up power and ground to the wires itself. I'll show you that now. You need a wiring diagram. I went ahead and pulled this off just so I could show you. On this side is the part that was facing downwards. You want to connect your negative down there to one of those 2 on the bottom, and then your positive to either one of those at the top, and it should make the fan spin. You can do it in reverse order too. They'll just make the fan spin backwards, which is okay. But I already have it hooked up to the other side. I have the negative hooked up, and now if I touch it with the positive, it should spin. Nothing there. I'm getting nothing. Now let me show you on the good fan. Okay, so you definitely want to make sure that the fan isn't going to hit anything, because right now it would. So we'll lift it up and out of the way. If I do the exact same thing, as you can see, it works. Okay, so now you can see we got the old ones on the left. It looks all worn out, and the new one did come with a heat shield. As you can see, it's brand new. Okay, doing the same test as before. Got it hooked up the exact same way. We're just going to put it to the battery. Alright. That's the one that was bad on ours, but I will go ahead and check the other one off camera, and then we'll go ahead and put it back in. Okay, so looking down from your radiator cap, you'll see your transmission coolant line. Make sure to attach this back in once you get it in. I'm showing you that now because it's hard to record. Okay, so you want the heat shield to go to the passenger side. You want your transmission coolant line to clip in right there. And you want these little tabs to go in at the bottom. So we'll go ahead and stick that in now. And you want to make sure to push this radiator hose back. Just push it out of the way. And then go straight down with it. It'll try to get hung up right here, so just be careful of that. Go straight down. Watch out for this little hose right here going to the overfill tank. I want to fish that through. And you want to get them in those tabs at the bottom. There we go. Now we just gotta put the bolt back in up here. Okay, I got the transmission cooler line back in, so now we're just going to take this overfill line, put it back in. Just like that. Go up and around that. And now we're just going to put our 10mm back in. Okay, so make sure that's still on down there. And it is. Okay, so remember it's a 10mm. Just want to get it tight. It is plastic, it will break. Okay, so if you recall, this one's in there good. It was missing one over here, so I'm going to go to my local hardware store and put one in it, go get another one. So I'm going to get it all back together first, drive it down there, and then take this bolt out, check the thread pitch and everything. Get another one and put it in while I'm there. If you don't want to do that, you can take it out and take it to your local hardware store or Tractor Supply, and they'll match it up for you and give you another one just like it. And it's usually like 50 cents, give or take. Okay, so now that we got that back in, we want to plug up our wiring harness. So it's hard to mess this up because the length of them won't let you. So we'll just plug that in. Once you hear that snap, you're good to go. Now you want to take your radiator hose, just walk that back up there. Get your pliers. Sometimes these things are a little bit hard to walk up on there, but keep messing with them, they'll eventually go. I try to put it exactly like it was because it leaves an impression, and that's on there good now. The only thing left to do is pop the radiator cap off, and we're not that low on fluid, but we're going to fill it back up. Turn it over on its side, it usually pours a little bit better. And we're at the top, we're actually overfilling a little bit. Okay, so we're top back off. You want to clean up any fluid that did spill out, which I will do in just a minute. And some more is going to fall out because it's overfilled. Tighten that back up. Okay, so once you got your coolant topped off and your hose back on and everything is ready to go, you just want to put your air duct back in. Here's the harness for it. Just move it out of the way. There we go. Now once you got it in there, make sure to connect this so you don't get a check engine light. All you do is get it lined up, push down, that tab will come up, and you're good to go. Okay, so the last thing I want to do is crank up the car and see if everything is working. As you can hear and see, the fans are working. Okay, so that was the whole video on how to replace the cooling fans for your radiator. If you found this video helpful, please give me a like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you. On your screen now, you should see my subscribe button, and to the left or right of it should be videos that YouTube recommends to you to watch of my videos. Why don't you give one of them a try? Thanks.